Hey gang, welcome back. I'm so excited you're here again for another video. Thank you for loving my videos so much. I love making them so much for you guys. Your support is amazing. So today I'm making a special request video from my mom. We're going to be talking about traveling with younger kids because I've only traveled with my son and he's 4, so I know nothing about anyone older than that. Stay tuned. Today, special request video, like I said, from my mom. She has a friend traveling with an infant and she got really tired of copying and pasting and sending all the ideas that I came up with for her to tell her friend. So she asked me if I could just make a video so she could send it to her friend and it would be so much easier. So I thought it was a great idea. So I wanted to share all my tips and tricks that I've shared with my mom to share with her friend, to share with you guys. So let's go ahead, start with number 1. Get some window clings. Do you guys have these? Like, you put them on your windows for holidays. These are Easter. They're, Easter is a little bit ago. If you're flying Spirit Airlines like we do frequently, the backs of the seat are the hard plastic and they stick perfectly. I'm gonna put a picture up of my son playing with those right now. As you can see, we have them on the tray table, we have them on the back of the seat in front of us, and they also do stick to the wall of the plane too, so that's always fun. So that was a great 20 to 30 minute activity until he ripped them up and we had to throw them away. So, pro tip, if you are buying some of these to play with, buy a couple packs because they will get thrown away. They're just a few dollars at Target in the Bullseye Market, or they have some on Amazon or Walmart or your Dollar General. And while you're at my favorite store, Target, or as my son calls it, the Red Store, go ahead and pick up one of these too. These are a play pack. It has some stickers, a coloring book, and 4 crayons in it. These are great to take with you on the plane. They are sealed, so nothing gets away from them. You can throw them in your bag, pull them out when your kids need them to color or play on the plane, or even while you're waiting on the plane. My tip number 3 for you guys is get a car seat bag. They can be a little bit expensive. However, I found one for $10 at a children's consignment sale. It has been worth its weight in gold for us. You just slip your car seat in it. It has a handle on it. It has rollers. It makes it great to transport our car seat to and from the airport. We also have snuck in a blanket, a pack of diapers, a change of clothes, just a few tiny things that we can stuff in the seat and pull it down with the shoulder straps tight and keep in the car seat bag with it. This also allows you to have your hands more free when you're walking to the gate with your kids. You don't have to worry about this big bulky car seat that you are gate checking at the gate before you get on the plane. There's really no reason, I think, to gate check a car seat, maybe a stroller if you do have a smaller child or an infant. We counter check our stroller and we also counter check our car seat every time we fly. It just makes it way more convenient. And we just have to wait on the carousel to get our luggage back, but we're fine with that. Speaking of strollers, go buy your stroller at a yard sale or at an auction. Just go get a used one. It's gonna get beat up in flight. I'm telling you this from personal experience. Like, we've had bags ruined. How do you think they treat car seats and strollers? Go get a stroller for your older kids at a yard sale. Pay $20 for it. That way, if it does get beat up, if it does get banged up, or if it does get lost, you are not worried about your expensive stroller that your aunt, your uncle, your parents, your grandparents have paid all this money for, or you yourself have paid all this money for your kids, and it gets destroyed by the airline. My hack number 5. You guys, if you have a child, you can get a diaper bag for free. It does not count as a personal item, especially if you're flying Spirit or Frontier or any other budget airlines. Always, always, always double check with the airline you're flying before you follow any of these tips. However, from experience, you can always get a diaper bag as an extra item that does not count as a personal item. You do have to have a child, a to attach the diaper bag to, because they will ask. I have been asked where my child was when he was with his grandfather when I tried to get on a diaper bag and a personal item on Spirit. Also through TSA security, when I have taken those little packs of like mushed up food, they have asked me where my child was to make sure I did have a child that I was bringing that through for. So just make sure you have your kid with you, obviously, or around you somewhere. You can point to them real quick, but you do get a diaper bag for free. Don't abuse this. They will call out if you're trying to take a diaper bag for a 5-year-old child that's standing beside you and is half your size. So speaking on diaper bags, my next travel tip is if your child is under 2, they can be a lap child. Now, if you don't know what a lap child is, it's exactly that. You can have your child sit on your lap for free. If you are flying a budget airline like Spirit, they have very, very, very little leg room. Now, for myself, I'm 5'3". It doesn't really bother me if my son wanted to stand up in between my legs and play standing up. However, my husband, who is over 6 foot, it does get tight for him, just himself. So just check the spatial requirements on your airlines for your leg room. And if you are a shorter person like me, I know we're vertically challenged, you may be fine with a lap child. However, if you are like my husband and you are taller, then it does get a little bit iffy. I don't recommend it more than a 2-hour flight. If your child is older and closer to that 2 years of age and wants to stand up, it does get a little bit uncomfortable with them standing there. A bonus tip along with this, also a word of caution, you might want to take your child's birth certificate if they are really close to that 2 years of age. I have never been questioned on this. However, you may get questions on your child's age and if they really do qualify for a lap child. Like I said, I've never been asked this. However, we've always taken my son's birth certificate just in case they ever asked us this. My travel tip number 8 is if you do have an infant or a toddler that is still using a binky, make sure you give that to them when you're taking off and also when you're landing. The sucking on the binky or pacifier will help relieve the pressure in their ears. As an adult, we know we can blow in our nose and hold our nose. However, little kids don't understand that. So that binky and the sucking on the binky does help. Or if it is time for a bottle, that is a great alternative to a binky. The sucking motion does help the pressure in the ears equalize. Now, if you have a younger child and they are no longer having a bottle or a binky, like my son, currently he's 4, so we always take a lollipop with us, and we give him one on takeoff and we give him one when we're landing. And that does help with the pressure in his ears as well. We have taught him, to jiggle his ear a little bit, and that seemed to help just fine last time. My travel tip number 9 is they actually do have changing tables in the airline bathrooms on the airplane. So please do not change a dirty diaper on the seat next to you. That's just gross, and that's not being very respectful to anybody. And the flight attendants, they will yell at you. So even though the bathrooms are not that big, take a wipe with you, wipe down the changing table, and just change your baby's diaper in there. Please. If you're looking for a tablet to bring with you, I do recommend maybe not necessarily an iPad. If you're looking for something cheaper, my son, we have the Amazon Fire for him, and it's helpful to get the YouTube app and download YouTube Premium, pay for a month, or even try the free trial out. Download some videos for them to watch on the plane. We have used this multiple times, and it pays off every time. Tip number 11 kind of rolls into number 10. If you are taking an electronic device, especially ones that you can plug headphones into, get a pair of headphones, because the flight attendant is going to ask you to turn the volume off, and people around you are going to complain if you do have the volume up pretty loud, which my kid likes to crank it up as loud as it goes. That's just going to help them be in the zone, concentrating on their tablets, and they're not really going to think that, I've been sitting here for a long time, I need to get up and wiggle a little bit, because they're going to want to wiggle and walk around, and they're not going to want to sit very long. Invest in some of those headphones, and those will help especially when they want to listen with volume and they don't have the headphones, which we've had accidentally forgotten in one of our past flights and it was a disaster. So do yourself a favor, just grab a pair of cheap headphones from Amazon. I have them linked below, the ones that we use. I have everything linked below that I've been talking about, so if you are interested in checking those out as well. My travel tip number 12, if your child is over the age of 2, which means they are no longer a lap child and you do have to pay for them a ticket, then they are entitled to their own personal item if they are traveling on a budget airline, or if you're flying one of the larger airlines, they are entitled to their personal item and a carry-on. It doesn't matter. Every ticketed passenger is entitled to the bag allowance according to your airlines. So please make sure you are checking the baggage allowance on your airlines that you are flying. However, I know with Spirit Airlines, since this is really what we fly mostly, with Spirit Airlines, you are entitled one personal item and that is it. However, if your child is a ticketed passenger, meaning you are paying a fee for your kid and he is having or she is having her own seat, then they get their own personal item as well. My next travel tip is go grab a new toy. Give it to him on the plane. My son absolutely loves new toys and he loves cars, especially tomato. Go grab a new toy, pack it in your bag, pack it in the front so you can grab it right from your personal item under the seat bag, and let them open it up on the plane, let them play with it, and that's going to keep their attention for a large portion of the flight, hopefully. My next thing is be the last people on the plane. I know most airlines will let you on first if you do have a younger child. However, we found that the longer we have to sit still, it is not a good experience for us. So we have learned to wait until almost the last person is in line for the plane, and then we just walk pretty much right up to the gate, give them our tickets, walk on board, get our seats, and we're backing away from the gate in like 20 minutes as opposed to waiting for the entire plane to load. So my next tips are mostly about security. My first one is dress your kids in bright clothing so you can instantly spot them in a crowd. And this follows along the lines with bathing suits as well. Dress your kids in brighter colors. Don't dress them in dark blues or blacks. Do some neon colors or some oranges or some bright greens. Something that doesn't blend into the crowd. So if they wander off like children are tend to do, you can instantly spot them. To follow that up with another tip, take a picture of what your child is wearing. Take a picture of their shoes, take a picture of their pants, their top, their hat, take a picture of them all together. So for any reason, if you do forget what they're wearing in your panic, you can show people exactly what they're wearing, and that just helps you so much faster find your child in the lost airport. If you have paid and have passed through the TSA PreCheck program and the PreCheck status is on your ticket, meaning you can go through the TSA PreCheck line, your children can come with you as long as they are 12 and under. Once they are 13, they have to enroll in the PreCheck program themselves. But if you do have a child that is 12 or younger, they can go right through that TSA PreCheck with you. Now, if you do not have TSA PreCheck and you are going through regular security, young kids do not have to take off their shoes, which is a huge upset for my child because he loves to take off his shoes and he gets very mad in the security line when he does not have to take off his shoes. So the option is there if they do not want to take off their shoes. That is perfectly fine. You don't have to deal with it. However, if they do want to take off their shoes, it is no big deal. To save a little bit of money, make sure you are grabbing a refillable water bottle and just stuff it in one of your suitcases. So if you are traveling with children, they don't nickel and dime you to death at the airport shop getting drinks. So you can have this filled up after TSA security. Do not fill this up before security. You cannot take this full of water or any liquid through security. Fill it up at a water fountain after security. You don't have to pay $3, $4, $5 for airport water when you can buy it at home for much cheaper. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I had so much fun making this video. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss any time I release a video, and we'll see you next time.